So first of all, thank you guys. I know it's late and we're tired and we got an early rise, so I appreciate you guys wanting to go through this. I don't have all of the answers. I'm just going to share from my heart what I have to offer with you. Take what you will. I've kind of designed this around what we are currently doing. Everybody here is a brilliant photographer, and I want you to be able to tell a story beyond just the image. How do we supplement our experiences and be able to translate that to our readers and our observers so that they're not just seeing a beautiful image, but they're feeling the impact of your words as well. And Jane has like the photojournalism background. There's imagery in everything that we do and every day. It's up to you to see it. But I think the power comes from being able to tell that story and translate it for people to understand. And I think that comes from the heart. So a lot of this is going to be very heart-oriented. So for personal writing journey, just so that you guys understand a time scale. I know Chloe and Garen are coming in, but I'm a writer. Like that's what the first words out of my mouth. What do? I'm a writer. That was not always the case. That took me several years to be able to say. I've been writing since high school. I had a beautiful teacher who just inspired everything in me. She used to take us to an amphitheater and she used to make us kind of meditate before meditation was a thing and tell the story of what we were experiencing around us. And it was supplemented with like Thoreau and like these really beautiful creative thinkers, so it was always tied together. But that was where it started. I used to use MySpace was my writing platform, and I would post these poems, free verse, whatever you wanted to call it, and people would bash it. I can't even tell you how many times I was told to slit my wrist and die, and like you're so emo, and like all these crazy heated 18-year-old, probably younger 16-year-old emotions, And it was probably like through college and into a relationship, my entire creative flame died. So to go from this very creative being to now like completely lost in the world and lost in self, you lose your voice. And as photographers, as artists, as painters, as creators, we always find that ebb and flow no matter what stage of life you're in, which is why I'm sharing this. Because even if you don't go into the creative writing side of things, as an artist and as a human who creates, you will still experience that moment of like, what do I have to offer? 2013, so this is like legitimately from 2007 to 2013, I did not write. Completely stopped. There was not a beautiful word coming out of my mouth. I hated everything. I hated everyone. I was the worst human being possible. I treated people like shit. Like it was a bad place. Travel happened. First international trip to, it was, I guess, Germany, Paris, Ireland, Amsterdam. Losing. Like I've tapped into this creative source, don't know where this inspiration came from. What it was postcards. I was writing postcards home to people, and I hadn't written words in that long that at first it was awkward, like, oh, today I did this, and then I went here, and this is really weird. But then it became poetry. It became a story. Sitting at the base of a castle, I could still like vividly see myself at this cafe with a cappuccino in front of me, and the spoon is tilted so the light is hitting me in the eyes, and I can see the ruins of the castle on the hill of Heidelberg with the towering hills and the green bush, and it was just the most beautiful scene that I had ever experienced, and I will never let go of that. And that's what I want you guys to gain from this, is how do we recall those memories, even though that was 5-6 years ago and so much life has happened. I can still go back to that moment and feel every ounce of emotion that I felt being there without having developed my voice, if that makes sense. 2014, I got the nickname of continued reading because on Facebook, when you write too much shit, they make you open a new tab. And there's then this huge thing. That's what I did. Facebook was my outlet. And I know a lot of us, especially our US brethren, we're dealing with a lot of shit at the moment where we don't feel like we can share transparently for the sake of upsetting people in our lives and everything else. And we'll talk about this in a second, but like using the tools that you're currently in place to start expressing your voice so that people begin to trust that voice. Can't even tell you how many people, same with the MySpace thing, like how many people are just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you being so transparent? Like, this is embarrassing. Like, our family, your friends, your relationship, it's like, but this is me, you know, and I lost a lot of people. And it wasn't until a year later where my people started arriving, because they saw that, and that was just what I was. And when I didn't do that, that was the flag. It was like, oh wait, Haley hasn't done a continue reading post in a long time. Like, is she okay? What's going on? Why is she not inspired? So I want us to be able to shift into that, where people trust our words, they know that we're writing from the heart, and when they don't hear from us in an expression, what that means as an artist. And same with photography. If you're not creating, like, where are you in life that's not inspiring you? I could continue on. It's been a really, okay, this is my time frame. 2013 to now, that's 5 years. That's 5 years of growth, development. I was not a writer back then. If you asked me what the fuck I was doing, I was working at a baby store and I hate babies and I don't know what the fuck, stand-up comedy, I guess, like, I'm trying to figure it out, like, lost. Last year, 2016-ish, I finally started confidently saying I'm a writer. So right now, whether you're a photographer, painter, you know, traveler, it may take you some time before you're able to say, like, this is me, this is who I am. And don't be ashamed that it's taken you as long as it has, because when you're able to stand in that moment, that's the part where you're like, fuck, I've arrived. Like, this is what I've been, like, dreaming of, you know? So this is from 2007 to 2018, 11 years. I can now say I'm a writer. I can now say I'm an editor of a travel magazine. I can now say I'm connected to all these beautiful humans. And it's because I've been transparent through all of this experience. I wanted to talk about the difficulties, because I know you're not all here to be a writer, but you're looking for things to add to your current skill set to be able to offer more, to be more present, to connect with people in a better way. Difficulties that you're going to experience if you do choose to use writing as a tool. People are not going to agree with you. People are not going to engage with what you have to say. Family is going to be fucking disappointed in anything that you have to offer. Friends are going to be hurt by your opinions or by your experiences. There's going to be people who don't understand. There's going to be people who react very poorly and violently. Not like violently, like, oh, I'm going to kill you, but like malice, you know? Like, just like, how dare you attack me even though it has nothing to do with them? You're a terrible human. You know what I mean? Like, it's by vocalizing this internal dialogue and putting structure to it, you're going to experience backlash. And it's going to take some time, same as being a photographer, everything else, to not allow other people's opinions to deter you from doing what your heart is telling you to do. So it's not like, I'm a writer and I'm traveling freely, and it's like, I don't have a relationship with my parents, my family doesn't understand. I have friends all over the world. Luckily, we get to gather in this place, which is so beautiful, but like, I don't see my friends on a regular basis, but that's what I've chosen. That's what they now expect of me, and it's okay. But it took time. So, I want you guys to write down, where are you currently present social media sphere? Are you writing in a journal every day? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? What are areas that you can be writing that maybe you're not utilizing fully? So just like jot down a few. If you have a website, like you bought a domain and like there's no content on it, it's just photos or yeah, whatever that is. Where do I write? How are you maximizing them, if at all? I'm gonna drink a beer because this is like well. Thanks, guys. I don't want to put you to sleep, so I'm trying to keep it
not at
all. Okay.
We're writing where we do write. Or
What,
where
like,
we're writing it to.
What are you currently using?
Okay.
So if you have a website, if you have Facebook, Instagram, I use Medium. Medium is like a thing that's available to me. First, that's where I want you to, where are you present right now in terms of social media and like where an audience can find you, essentially. So from there, I want you to write down a percentage from 10% to 100 that you feel you're actually maximizing the potential. So if you're on Facebook, but all you're posting is cat memes, as much as I fucking love cat memes, I'd also love to hear your voice. So that could be a fat fucking 0 if you're doing cat memes, except for Kissy, because I feel like that's just your spirit. Yeah, so I want you to write down like what that percentage looks like. And this is, you can draw a line under this. This is just like a header for the stories that we're about to write and share together, where you may be able to infiltrate them. You know, like if you have a website that's been empty, maybe what you're about to share can be put to the website. So I just want this to be like a, this is where I am, but I'm not using all of it, so. I'll give you guys like another minute. Thanks for doing this with me. This is so exciting. It just feels so good and like, yeah, all the things. Sorry. I just care about this so much. I'm also like, I'm not an expert. I just know what works for me, and I know, I told Kyle this earlier, like I didn't find writing. I did find writing. Like writing has always been my outlet, but these opportunities that I've had have found me, and it's because of the work that I put in. Same with photography, same with everything else. So we're gonna go into that in a second, but that's why I'm sharing this, is it wasn't like an overnight thing, and Kyle has known this. Like it took a lot of really scary work to now just be like, I am a writer, and people don't even bat a fucking eye when I say it, and it's just like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. So I do want to talk about personal values. What I have learned, which isn't what I do, but what I've observed others, if you have ill intention, malice, a hidden agenda, ulterior motives, people are gonna fucking find you out. If you're not writing because you care about people, you care about sharing these experiences, people will figure it out. It is so easy to poke holes in agendas nowadays that people will see right through you. So if you're boasting this, I don't know, this beautiful, whimsy, ideologic, train of thought, but then somebody gets you one-on-one and they see that you don't abide by that at all, like this isn't just a writing thing, this is a full embodiment. So when I talk about personal values, my biggest one's personally transparency. This one was the hardest because I hurt a lot of people with my transparency, but I now own my truth. And everybody knows my truth, and nobody can now question it. And they can't come to me and be like, I think you're wrong about this, because this has always been how I've always been this transparent. So you can't come to me a year later and be like, oh, well, I'm taken aback by this. It's like, nope, I've been doing this since the beginning. Honesty and sincerity. When you're sharing these experiences, it's not all fucking pretty, you guys. Like, yes, images on Instagram are fucking beautiful, but like, we're also still human. We also break, we crumble, we are devastated, we hurt, and that's okay. And people want to see that now. That's like this amazing shift that we're going through with this writing, is that people want to see the content of your soul. It's not just about like, look at this beautiful thing that I did, and like, oh, like it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, it does, like, yes, you get to be in this beautiful place, but like, where else is the substance? Who knows, do you travel for Instagram? Mm-hmm. Has anybody ever read one of their captions?
Not every time, though. I'll be honest.
Is there any depth to any of those human beings? Like, have you ever seen emotion besides a pretty place? And if you haven't explored their like profile before, I urge you to do so. They're like two of the biggest travel accounts.
What is it?
Do you travel?
Do you travel?
Yeah, they're like two of the and I'm not denying that they're beautiful people or that their images are incredible, but like, I've never seen substance, ever. And it's, yes, there are people lusting after that beautiful lifestyle, but at the end of the day, like, how isolated are they in their experiences where they can't share their heart, even just a little bit? Like, you don't have to be like, like, just a little like inkling of like who you are as a person, and people are gonna gravitate towards that. So yeah, that's my biggest thing. Like, if you're thinking like, I'm gonna sit and do creative writing so that like I can further like, whatever the fuck it is, like, we're in the wrong space. Like, this is all about being connected to ourselves, being connected to our environments, and sharing that with people who aren't going to be able to experience it for themselves. you're in fucking Bali. How many of your parents are just like, you're batshit crazy? That was an intentional Western accent just for you. Right? Like, how many parents are just like, the fuck are you doing? You know? And like, that hurts because you're like, this is where my heart is leading me. And if you can share just an ounce of that with them and show them that you're okay and you're safe and there's other people who love this too, they'll trust that you are safe and that other people love this too, and you're not just some anomaly in the family that's like a black sheep, you know? Like, they'll start defending you and they'll start showing up and they'll be like, hey, my daughter's a badass. Like, she just fucking did this thing by herself, and like, oh my god, like, let me show you all her photos. And then they're the grandparent that's just like showing every person that they come in contact with all the pictures, you know? It's a thing, and that's confidence here.
That's a great analogy, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I've seen that.
I know. I've been listening to all of you, so I've been trying to tie this into what each of you have shared. So,
I think I'm gonna cry at some point. I've already like 4 or 5 times.
And
like, don't.
I might too, and that's okay, because you're coming up in a second. So I apologize ahead of time. We're getting to the exercises very quick. What I want to tap into is the ability to use your words to connect with human beings from all over the fucking world. We have access to anyone in any time zone, from any country, with any background, with any language. They don't have to speak fucking English, and they can still see your shit, which is incredible. And now there's a C translation button that translates it to their language, and they're like, holy shit, this human is like me, but like we grew up in a different country. Like, it's fucking beautiful. Why are we not tapping into that? You know, like it's, we're in Bali. If you geotag Bali right now, you're gonna get a Spaniard, a German, a fucking Balinese human being. You're gonna get an Indonesian that is not even on this island. They're gonna be looking at you. They're going to be curious what you're going through, because as humans who are experiencing these cultures, they're so excited that you're here. Like, wow, this person came here at the same time that I did. Like, why? You know, the why is so important with why we gather. And we forget that we are social beings. We are all, I'm going into the evolution of humans, but I won't go that deep. Common threads. Common threads are apparent in every interaction you have. And this goes to a anthropological level of human evolution. We all want love. We all want happiness. We know what laughter sounds like. Doesn't matter what language you speak, we all know laughter. You can play hopscotch in Vietnam with 12 kids, and you didn't realize they knew what the fuck hopscotch was, but somehow they do, and that's beautiful. That's human connection. There are so many ways that we are able to connect now that it's not just being in the same physical space. So a couple examples, just real quick, I'm gonna share with you. I had a girl reach out on Instagram a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah, her name's Haley Dawn. She's been following me for a while. She was a ghost follower, like didn't ever engage. She messaged me. I added you on MySpace in 2007 when people were telling me to slit my wrist and die. One of your poems called Simplicity, she remembered the fucking name of this poem that I wrote and posted to MySpace. I have carried...
You have it on your back.
Oh, yeah, that's my tattoo. It's Simplicity.
I've always wanted to ask you about that, but I didn't know if it was like something super personal, so I never did.
It's just like stripping away of everything to be here.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. That's the fact that she remembered that. And she added me because our names were spelled exactly the same. She's Haley Nicole Dawn. That's why she added me on MySpace. And I ended up being a poet. And she still has my poem saved on her desktop from 2007. And then she finds me on Instagram. And she sends me this, you know, like, I'm sorry I haven't engaged with anything, but I've cared about you for so long. MySpace. I know, like, oh no, I cried a lot. Like, it was a really, like, insane moment, but doesn't fucking end there. Ashley, my current editor-in-chief of Pilgrim magazine, I met her in a Facebook group of 500,000 women. Girls Love Travel, I'm sure some of you know it. We met through a fucking hashtag. Like, that was like our common thread. And she started following my journey in 2016 when I was writing our love story on Medium. And she was one of the few people who actually believed in my voice. So when she put out this call for a VA, I just need a personal assistant. And I was like, I'll fucking do your dirty work if it means I get to learn this. And when I applied, I didn't give her a CV. I didn't give her this bullshit like, oh, this is what I have to offer. I was like, I'm gonna write this from my fucking heart, and if you don't enjoy it, that's okay. She offered me her fucking equal position in her magazine. I'm not below her, I am her equal. This woman that I've never met in person, BT'd up. Like, me and her have never interacted. But she trusted my voice enough and my honesty and my integrity that she offered me literally the opportunity beyond my wildest dreams. And it's because I was able to be vulnerable, share these experiences, allowed the narrative to flow, became present in interactions that I was having, and granted, I kept a lot for myself, but I knew which ones were right to share, to let people into this world that they wouldn't get to have, you know. And then we have another human being who is literally sitting in front of me right now. I met her in a Facebook group, through Sorrel, of course, Rebel Brainiacs. But it was sad advanced selfie. I was mourning and she was writing about her relationship, which I'm sure in bursts you've heard. We met through a fucking hashtag on Instagram, and then I invited her halfway around the world to come meet a bunch of strangers, and she pulled all the strings together to be here. This is what writing does. This is how humans come into our lives. We have the power to change that and to be a part of that and to build the world that's around us if we really want it to be. But you have to want it. You know, you can write fluff. It's easy to write fluff. It's easy to write bullshit. It's so simple. But if you want that heart piece, that part is like, fuck, my life is so dope. Like, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be honest. You have to be truthful. So I want you guys to pick a word. Just think, I love you.
I love you.
No, are you okay?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I know this is overwhelming for me because I've never shared. I don't feel like I'm an expert. I just feel like I've found people through this because I care about it so deeply. So I just want to share it with you first. So we're going to pick a word that has resonated with you today. We're going to go around the table and share it. So give yourself like 30 seconds and like make this a gut instinct, like solidarity, growth, warmth, relaxation, like whatever that word is. I'm making you write them down, but I'm making you say them out loud. This is where it gets fun, guys. This is where you get involved and you don't fall asleep on me.
Never.
Okay.
You're fine.
Oh,
This is good.
yeah.
Is it good?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Alright, Taylor, you're gonna be my first. I know you've been going through some crazy shit.
Real quick, can somebody next to the camera
Yeah.
press next to the
Kirsten.
eyepiece? There's a red button. Press that.
Thanks to the husband for helping me with this. I appreciate him.
Can we do Swedish words?
I chose.
Jaime is coming tomorrow. Mindfulness. Okay, beautiful. Lisa, how about you, babe?
Laughter.
Laughter. Oh, I love that. That's gonna be a good one. Jess.
I wrote soul, but
Soul.
and connect, like connection to connection.
Okay, well, hold on to that, but soul is your word.
Okay.
Garen.
Peace.
Ooh, good. Good. Kirsten.
Eager.
You didn't do penis? No, that's beautiful. I love you. I'm sorry for sharing. She's shared a vulnerable moment. Like, I know. Hannah,
Strength.
strength. Okay. James.
I did connection as well.
Connection. Nice. Okay.
Kindness.
Beautiful.
Grateful.
Okay. And Chris.
Rome.
Ooh. Okay.
What was it?
Rome. Not
So-
the same. No, not the same.
No, it's like Rome, like water.
Yeah.
So first, creative writing challenge. These don't have to be spectacular. You're going to write a haiku about your word.
Haiku.
What's a haiku?
But I'm about to explain. I was like, in kindergarten.
Anna's like, what's the Swedish word? Struggling over here, right?
So a haiku is a 3 sentence, and it doesn't have to be full sentences, poem. and it's based on syllables. Do you need me to explain that?
No, no,
You
no.
got it. Okay, so the format is 5 syllables by 7 syllables by 5 syllables. So you have to get creative with your words, but you only get 3 lines to do it. So I want you to write a haiku, H-A-I-K,
Would be 5.
Huh? Yes.
So it's,
What's syllable?
It's
Like so,
what was it? 3, 5?
yeah.
No, 575.
Five.
Alright. So my job was to
575. So each line has that
First line is
amount.
5
of
syllables,
syllables.
second
Yeah.
line is 7 syllables, and the last
So,
line
Hannah.
is 5 syllables.
This is going to be a really fast. Hannah is the best. That's
Yeah.
5.
okay.
She writes music for talented. Was that 7?
Sure.
I think. People that are famous. Well, that's fucking 2.
So each-
We're close. So it doesn't have to be
575.
575.
About
About the word.
yeah.
Alright.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Sorry, I know that was a terrible. I was just off the fucking. Syllables. Yes, syllables. I know. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Over here. No, it's just hard.
It is hard, but this is like the breakthrough. This
Yeah,
is
maybe
the
It's hard
first-
for her to translate it. That's what she's getting at.
Don't write it in your native language.
That's what I said.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have to be in anything that we know.
And then
this is for you.
explain it generally. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not sharing this first one. This is just to get you into the creative thought. So if you want it to be in Swedish,
Yeah, because it's yeah.
because you guys' words are much different. So go, that's fine. But also, one word is also like the full 7 syllables. So I feel like I like when I like semi-stand comedy like in the middle of it. Like,
Thank you. I'll be here.
I'll be here for the next 10 minutes while we
I'll be by the bar if you want to talk.
finishing my bintang.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't have to be deep. It can honestly be like the color is red and it burns as bright as the sun, and I don't care.
But it has to go along with the word I pick.
Yes, yes, yes. But it doesn't have to be deep. Like you don't have to be a poet right now. I just want you to get thinking of how do I translate this one feeling or concept.
I should have you like try to read it.
You
No? Okay.
This will be like the burn.
That's a hard pass.
Yeah.
How does Haley read this? Oh wait, she can't. I love you.
That's me every day with English. So. I'm like,
We're not sharing this, right? 'Cause
No,
this
no,
is-
no. No, no, no. It's all for you. I will say though, as we go through, so I have 2 more, just like writing creative things for you. If over the next couple days you want me to help you hash it out further, like if you feel really pulled to it, like I'm so happy to do that with you. Granted, the haiku might not be the stuff that you guys want to go.
No, it's an A. It's like we don't stop at Z. We have
yeah, okay. We're just gonna leave it like that. Yeah. It's like an A with 2 dots.
for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Give you guys like 30 more seconds.
Oh
is that
wait,
about
yeah.
10-ish. And you can also come back to it if you're stuck. Obviously, before bed or anything else, you can come back.
Ooh, it rhymed. Ooh.
I sounds like you should be going to bed.
Go to sleep.
Gonna
What's the
happen.
9:45.
9:45. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wind you guys down. Not that it's over, just say like we're gonna move on to the next one so that we don't waste too much time and you guys can get to bed.
So the reason for that is when we have these concepts in our mind, sometimes it can be very hard to articulate, as you've just now experienced, even within a very small context. How do I put this one word into a translation of how I feel, you know? But this is how I've found benefit in writing, is how I can make the most concise point without drawing it out, but I'm also somebody to draw everything out. But sometimes, like, how do I explain happiness without going into a 300-page thing of what happiness is? You know, finding the succinct words that tie you into what happiness felt like in that moment. So that was the purpose of this. I was not yet, because it was getting late. So I might do that more one-on-one. Like, if you do feel like sharing, we can do that. Or tomorrow, whichever. So we're going to close our eyes for a second. I'm going to walk you through a visualization similar to what we did earlier today. Huge deep breath. I want you to think of a moment, whether it be in recent history or a distant past, that brought you immense joy. Something that was just an insane smile on your face. We'll call it a shit-eating grin, you know, just that, like, woohoo moment. Think about these next questions, because I'm going to have you write for 5 minutes straight of what you pull from here. Where are you standing? What can you hear around you? How is it making you feel? And not just happy, but how are you feeling in this moment? What do you smell? Is there anything that is burning or wafting or a breeze drifting in? Are you sharing the moment with anyone? Is somebody present with you? How does your skin feel? Is there music? Are there voices? I want you guys to do another deep breath in. I want you to really feel this moment, where you are standing in this memory. Put yourself back in that place. Okay, go ahead, open your eyes. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. I want you to detail everything that you've just felt. And if you want to continue to close your eyes and experience it, please do. You guys have 5 minutes to write down what that moment was, what it looks like. So paint the picture in my mind. If I do not know what this scene is, explain it to me from the clarity of your own. So before I do that, I'm going to share something from, I'm not even going to tell you what it was. I'm just going to read it. Just a quick little excerpt. And then you guys are familiar with how I write now. So let's just hopefully this. Oh, it's so accurate. It's so crazy. The last 6 years have presented one devastating challenge after the other. I've struggled to come into my own and relied substantially on others to keep me from drowning. It wasn't until recently that I was able to turn my life around, to realize my own strength and abilities, to have confidence in the direction I'm heading, and to feel secure in the decisions I've made. Who I am now is almost unrecognizable to the person I was 2 years ago, and I'm so proud of how far I've come. But I realized this week that I've been holding back. Out of guilt, out of confusion, out of fear and trepidation, holding on to something for all the wrong reasons, living with a double standard and trying to convince myself to choose a life I thought I should be living rather than accepting things as they are. I realized that for so long I remained stagnant, stifled my own potential and denying myself opportunity. With everything I know I'm bound to accomplish at this stage of my life, stagnant is simply unacceptable. That was February 25th, 2014. And I'm literally going through the same exact shift as I am now. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is your voice that you just put onto these pages does not leave. It doesn't disappear just because now it's here. This isn't something that gets left in the past. You're gonna look back on this in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And you're gonna be able to recall whatever it is that you just wrote with clarity. You're gonna know where you were standing. You're gonna know how you felt. You're gonna know the senses that surrounded you. You're gonna feel so in tune with yourself. You're like, fuck, this is a pattern that keeps repeating itself, but that's just what life is. So that's why I wanted to do this one in particular, is because what you wrote is an opportunity, almost like a portal. You know, like, how can I go back to this moment in time? Relive this, trust this, hear my own voice even, because you in a few years will be like, I remember when I was back there in Bali in 2018, like, oh God, I've grown so much. But then you're gonna read this and be like, holy shit, wait, like that's still me, I'm still in here, no matter how much you've grown. So that was the purpose of that one. And I do want to read these at one point to see the image that you've made, BT dub. Okay, so last one. This is when I had you guys pull up your phone. So new page space to the last one. Go ahead, pull up your phones. I'm now building on the last two. I want you to pull up the photo that was calling to you when I asked you to find one. Now I'm gonna give you I'll give you like 8 minutes. Tell me the story of that photograph. Like the full story, not just like, oh, today I went here and I did this. Like, I want to read, obviously, because I won't hear it. What led you to that moment? Why did you arrive there? What did you leave feeling like? Who were you with? Who did you share it with? Were you alone? What impression did it have on you? Is it still affecting you? Is it still embedded in you? Tell that story. And this is an exercise for the Instagram growth BT dub. I keep saying BT dub. Please stop doing that.
Very grammatically correct.
What?
I said very grammatically correct.
Yeah, no, we're doing the acronym thing
Yeah.
again. Call back to a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So 8 minutes on the clock.
This one's for
So this is the photo.
what was the second part? I already, my brain turned off.
Oh, no, it's okay. Just tell me that story. Tell me the story of that day.
Okay.
Everything that you remember, and this can be monkey brain if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be a poetic thing. It can just be word vomit if you want it to be. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and like go through it. That's totally okay. But whatever, I want you to stare at that photo. Try to meditate into it if you can. What is it? What is it pulling out?
I didn't hear you
How
say
you
that.
feeling? How do you do good?
Alright.
Yeah.
Terrible Garen.
Yeah. We love Garen for it.
Sort of floaty boat.
Sorry. How do you feel?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
actually, I didn't, I was excited for this, but I didn't know how much it would really like
Hurt?
No, like, cause I work with writing in that sense, but I never realized how much I actually love to just like sit down with paper and pen. It just makes my heart like, so I'm stoked.
It makes me so happy. to hear. There's something very cathartic about like actually doing the pen to paper, which is why I wanted to save the phones for last, so you guys knew what that felt like to connect with your words and like actually like what am I trying to communicate. Sorry. Jane, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
fine.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
I picked a very happy photo that I've been meaning to write for a long time. And I knew this was
Amazing.
going to make me do that. So,
Beautiful.
you're fine.
Okay.
Don't apologize. I was, yeah.
If you feel like sharing, I'd love to read
Yeah.
later. That's awesome. I commend you for doing that because I know it's not an easy task doing that. I love you. Chloe, babe, how you feeling?
Good.
Yeah? Okay.
It's
Feeling?
nice to like relive like, cause I picked a fun picture and a nice photo that I was happy about. It's nice to like relive the memories.
Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, similar. I feel like very nostalgic. Thinking back on memories and photos and thoughts and all these things, and like putting words to the memories. Like you can look at photos, like you have pictures in 1,000 words. Like you think a lot of things about the photo, but then having them like in front of you is different.
Christopher.
I did kind of in contrasting. I did like a happy thing first exercise and then more of a current kind of thing on the second thing. It was nice
To see both, like to
to see
explore
both
both.
the good and bad.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. So So the reason for this one, and it's not just the beautiful images that we're putting out there and the stories that we're telling behind them, but it's also the emotions that you're evoking in yourself. I feel like because we are so distracted in our everyday that we do lose touch with these very intimate moments and experiences that do bring us either a lot of pain or a lot of joy or whatever the emotions are. You know, we detach ourselves from feeling very effortlessly, and it's easy to distract because there are so many beautiful things that do fill our everyday lives. But as much as sharing this can be for your family or whoever else you're sharing it for, it's also for you. And that's something that I've learned is everything that I write, it is selfish. It's like I want to remember this moment, but I also write it because if there's someone else in the world who has felt this way, or felt isolated or alone or sadness or whatever it is, like I want them to know they're not alone. Because I have spent my majority of my life alone. And there was no literature out there that I could cling on to that helped me feel okay. And your experiences are valid. Your experiences are fucking beautiful, you guys. Like, we have the power within ourselves to be able to share this openly and resonate with people and inspire people. I think that's something that we're all kind of trying to do is like, how do we inspire people to live better lives? And I know like our talk with Jordan with the ego and everything else, like there's so many layers to it, but writing I feel is it can either be a very selfish thing or very selfless. It's up to you what you want it to be. If you want it to be a selfish thing where you're just making money off of it and it's a business strategy, fine. That works. It's out there. You're not gonna make a lot of money off of it, so don't fucking bank on being like the next
JK.
Yeah, like that's like a fluke. And I think she was like 32, 34 when it happened. So if you're 22, you're like, I'm gonna be the next McWriter. It's like, give yourself a decade and see where you're at. Took me till like almost 30 to be like, oh, I'm a writer now. You know, like it's fucked up. But that's okay. It's really just allowing yourself to be, allowing yourself to be present in your interactions. Recording, you know, writing is a dying art. I love that everybody has a journal. That's like one of my favorite things to see on this table for the most part. I'd say like 80-20, you know, that's epic. What are you going to pass on? And I know, again, the ego thing, like we're keeping that separate because this is a different entity. Like what, when you have left this earth, your Instagram likes aren't gonna fucking matter. The amount of followers you have is not gonna fucking follow you. You're gone. You're dead and gone. I'm sorry, I have a very healthy relationship with death, but that's just the truth of it. What do you want your family to remember you by? The people that come to your funeral, what stories do you want them to tell? You know, what do you want to carry forward long after your physical vessel has left this earth? That's what writing is. Writing allows us to tap into that sacred space within ourselves, pieces that we want to share, so that we can be remembered, you know, in our strength and our courage and our excitement and our joy and our energy, you know, whatever it is that your first word was. How do we want to be remembered in that moment? You know? It's been a lot heavier than I was expecting it to, but I'm going to leave you with this. No matter what you write, I've said this already, but if you can help one person in their journey feel less alone, then what you've shared is worth it. Even if it may hurt someone else or not be the most favorable opinion, if there's someone that resonates from across the world that reaches out to you and is like, oh my God, thank you. That feeling is gonna carry you through life's troubles, death, and then suffering. Because you'll know that you also are not alone. You know, people are listening. Yeah, it's up to you to use that voice the way that you choose. Does anybody want to share a piece of? I know we're tired, so I want you guys to be able to go to bed. Or we can do this one-on-one tomorrow if you guys feel like doing that. You guys all look like you need like a decompression period. It's like, I need to fucking sleep. What have you done?
It just became like a rhymey thing for me.
A what? A rhyming thing?
Yeah.
Amazing. Good. Okay.
But that's you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know actually, but just
That's a songwriter.
That's awesome.
That's a songwriter.
And that's what writing can be for you is it doesn't have to be what it is for me or what it may be for Jessica or anybody else that writes. You know, it's you create music. You fill people's lives with joy through music and lyrics and things that they can identify with.
That's what because people don't know, like, but when I see like people talking about stuff that I wrote,
it feels good.
Yeah,
right?
it's
yeah. Tonight, how many people were like, holy shit, I love that song, like, oh, that's my jam, you know, like that must make you feel good.
Yeah.
You helped somebody not feel alone.
You did it.
You did it.
You did it. You made it.
So like it doesn't have to be what I do, it doesn't have to be travel, like it's your niche, and we can have breakaways if you guys want to like carve out your niche, but that's yours, Hannah. Like you inspire people through music, and that's fucking beautiful. So you can still use these practices to fuel that, you know. And I think you are one of those people who leads with your heart. Like even the mocking thing, you're like, this is a joke, but it resonated with people. You know what I mean? Cool. Anybody else? Any comments for me at all? I'm sorry that was heavy. I'm actually not sorry at all.
Don't be
because
sorry.
Yeah. That's exactly what I wanted that to be. So thank you guys for being here with me. Like that means everything. So I really appreciate it. Honestly. Pull me aside whenever you want. You know where I'll sleep. Like old days. Seriously, like endless gratitude. Like this is not a thing that I get to share. Obviously I share, overly share. But to be able to share it with you guys means a lot. I love you. I love you. Thanks. Okay, go get some sleep.
Yes.
I feel good, but I also know that was a lot.
I think it went great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a just a wonderful human. You just dickhead. You know.
You dickhead.
I know, I'm kind of an asshole. I was sitting there, I was like, I'm making Jane cry, like, and
No, it wasn't. But it's, I think, because it's from the heart and it's being in touch with your feelings, whether it's good or bad or sad.
You're way back.
Yeah.
And then I just like didn't do it.
Just
And then
listening to you. That's just.
Yeah.
wow.
Like I can't describe it. It's just
See?
I know.
See?
I
Yeah.
know.
It's just for hours. Just talk, and I'm fine. I'm fine. Just talk. We're all.
Yeah.
That means, you guys know that means everything to me. Like,
I'll write you a song.
she just did. Thank you. I look forward to it. I just, obviously it led me to all of you, so it's like, how can I not share that with all of you that are here because of that, you know?
Yeah.
This is like beyond me. That's why, like, I'm not an expert, but
But
You're pretty damn good.
yeah.
I mean, pretty damn
expert.
good.
my heart knows what it's talking about.
Experts here. You're like right now.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's
Pretty damn good.
It's pretty damn good.
thanks, guys.
That's your new title.
Pretty damn good.
Haley. Pretty damn good.
Pretty PDG.
PDG.
Can let that
Instead of like doctor. Haley. PhD.
What's that say for?
Pretty damn good.
Thank you. I'll be here.